Hello CreateStudio user. In this tutorial I will show you how to add a color gradient to a border in CreateStudio free. I will show you two methods. The first one, the track method, has more options. The second one, the group method, is a little bit faster. Okay, let's begin. I will delete here this block. And let's begin now with this circle, because we only go with borders here in this tutorial. I go here to color, to the fill color, and go with the opacity down. Then I go with the border width, well, let's say here 80. I like round numbers here. I go now, I have now to cover this circle border here. And you can make this also with a circle, but here I go with a square. Let's go with the snap strength a little bit up. Let's go to something like 6. And this square has to cover the whole circle here. And now I can add a gradient to this rectangle. Therefore I go here to the fill color and go with this gradient. And I don't know if you know how to make a gradient. I will show you this. You see here this triangle here. So this means that this color point on this bar is active. So let's leave it to blue, and if you left click, then you can add other color points here. Let's go here with, let's say, orange. Let's go with some purple, green. Let's go to red. And let's make another one. Let's go green, red, blue I have. What do I don't have? Let's go with yellow. Okay, now I have here my random. Let's make it a little more random here. Go something like this. Okay, now best thing is to save this gradient. Therefore you go to your favorites, and then with the plus sign you can then add this gradient. Then select the square, go to track matte, and here in this case I go to circle, track matte and alpha. And now I have my gradient on this border. This was the first method. You also can go here with radial gradient, which is nice. I will show you this later before I show you the group method. Therefore, and this is very important, let's delete this for a second and bring in here a new circle. I put this here on the timeline below. And when you add now a border, go with the default size. In this case it's 81. Because I will show you this. Let's go for a border. And let's go away with the fill. And let's now say you begin here with, not with the default, let's say with 40%. So I go here also to something like 40. And let's now add a gradient. Therefore, I go to select the circle, group it. Let's go back to show you that in the border tab I don't have the possibility to go with gradient. This is the same here or also here with the border. No possibility, but when I group this, I then have the possibility. When I now go here to circle and border, you now see the gradient symbols here. But when I now go horizontal gradient, and let's take the same as before, as we made before, or I made before, you see first that you don't see the gradient here in this window. But you see here below, here is the gradient with all the color points. I can also go out here and go back to circle. Now I have here the gradient poles. Also when I go in the group and go here, but I have here no possibility to switch. Okay, let's go back to the main timeline. Let's go to the group here. What you also see that you lost here colors. You see, let's go make it larger here, that you don't see here the blue color. You don't see here the, I think it was an orange color. You first saw here this purple color. It's the same at the other side. You only see here the orange or red color here, but you don't see the yellow or the blue color. To fix this, you have to go with the default size. So I delete this, bring in a new circle, put this here on the stage and on the timeline. Make here the fill color to 0, and with the border, let's go with a similar size as the one to the left. Go to 81. Then I go to group this. And go now for gradient. And you see now that all colors are in it. It begins with blue. Here's a little more blue than here, but it's okay. You see here the blue color at the left and at the right here. Can go a little bit in so that it matches a little bit more the other colors here. Make something like that. So go with the default size, and when I now say, okay, I want this smaller, you can go and make this. You see the gradient doesn't change in this case. So when you go with shapes or images, videos for a border and something like this, go with the default and then scale it to your needs. Okay, what you also can do is, let's go to the gradient again here. You can go here and go for a radial gradient. You see now you have this radial gradient, but you also see you have here only two colors. These are this blue color here at the right and the yellow color at the right. If you want here more colors of your color palette here on this bar, you have to go in with this colors here. Let's go and bring this all to the right here. Now you see that the colors are now visible on the border here. I think, could I show the blue here? No. Okay. So you have here only this part here of the bar where you can go with color points. And then you have something like this here. The same you could do here with the group method. Go in here, go to radial, and bring here all the colors here to the right. So that I now have here all the colors for a radial gradient. Okay. Now I think we are finishing here, or we are finished here with the circle. Let's now go to path. I have here two paths. This is for the track mat method. This is for the group method. I will go here fast through because I think you know what I make. Go with the track mat group. Go here with, let's go here with a rectangle. Then let's cover the whole path. Let's go with gradient. Let's take one of these here and go now with track mat. This is path track mat and alpha. And now you're ready. And what I forgot to say, with this method you have also the possibility, because you have here this dashed line and these 2 points, and it is the same for the circle, you can also manipulate here the gradient to your needs. Let's say you want a gradient that goes vertical from top to bottom here. You can do this easily with this method. With this method it's not possible, because when I go here to the path and group it, go here with horizontal gradient, you see that you don't have these handles and this dashed line, but it's faster. You're good to go in 2 seconds or something like this. Here you have to go with rectangle and then go with track mat and so on. If this is what you want, you are okay with this faster method. And here you can then change the colors here with these color points if you want. Okay, next one, text. With text, I would recommend to go with the track mat method. The other method also works when you go with the default size. Let's go here to this, and here I have a scale of 234. It's better to go with 100 here. Let's go with 100 to get the whole gradient, as I showed you before. Better go with the default. In this case, for text, it's a little bit better. I will show you. Let's see if it works. Okay, let's go first to the text here for the track mat method. Go down here with the color of the fill and go now with border here. You see that they are separated. You have no border here in the text settings. You have to go with border, and this is the difference between shapes and text. So that you have more problems than with the group method. Okay, let's now go for a width. Let's go to something like, I like this 2 here, and bring now in a rectangle. Let's cover here the text. Another thing is, before I forgot it, best go here with the H padding to 0. You can also go with the V padding to 0 here. And then go here with the snapping, because the gradient will begin here with, when I go here out, then the gradient will begin out of the text here. So let's go to the text as close as possible. And also, if you want to go with a vertical gradient, it's also better, I go here down with the opacity, to don't go with snapping here. You see that there's much room here around the text. Go better in, and so that it's not so far away from the text. Go with something like this here. Okay, I think this is okay, so let's center it. No, it's okay. Okay, you can go more in here to exactly here the edge here from this G here, but this is not the problem. Let's go up with the opacity. Now let's go with gradient. Let's go here with something like, let's say this one here. This is this in the second last row, because I want to make it also for this here. Okay, then as before, go to track matte. Here is gradient track matte and alpha. So now you have here a nice gradient here with these colors. I think I go with the border a little bit up. This is here the border. Let's go to something like 4 here. Okay, nice. Let's do now the same with this, with the group method. I go here with group. Text, you see I also have here the, let's go back. The padding is here also to 0, because I can't make here a vertical gradient, so it's the V padding is not important. So let's go and group this. And now let's go with text, border, gradient. Let's go for the same gradient here. This was this one here. And you see here the differences between this. You have here a lot of yellow, and then you have here begins the blue one. This is here to this here. You see that the colors are different, and so I think it's better here to go with the track matte method. You can go, let's say I make here another text. Let's bring this here up. Okay. Wait. Let's bring this up here, and let's bring this here up. If you go with text, you have now the default scale here. Let's go with the padding here down and go with gradient. I go here with spacing 0, like this more. With the color, we go down with the opacity, then go to border. Let's make something like 2. And let's now bring this down here. Let's now group this and go with the gradient, the same gradient. You see, now you have something similar to the first one here. The problem is, when you scale this to another size, you get then problems. Let's scale this to the size of this here. You see that you lose colors. I have now the same as this, but I don't have this here. So if you go with the default size of 100 or between 90 and 110%, like this, you get similar gradients with the group method as with the track matte method. Okay, you have to decide to make it. It's faster, but you lose colors and you got other colors here. You see, when I go now back to 100, you see now, when I go with this, let's say here, the gradient is almost the same. You have here this yellow, then it goes to blue, it goes to red, orange, green, and so on, and ends here with blue. But when you size it, and I think this is because the border is separated from the text settings, when you size it, you get problems. Okay, let's go to the last example here on the timeline, and this is images. For images with the track matte method, you have to go with first one rectangle, and let's now go and size this here down to the size of the image. See if everything is nice covered here. And for the track matte, you have to go with another rounded rectangular, and I go and duplicate this. And now I go for the border, and here I go down with the opacity. Go with border, let's see, something like this here. Let's go to 40 so that we have here a round number. And now I have to size it to the size of the rectangle below. Okay. For the rectangle below, I go now with gradient. Let's choose here the first one with this gradient. And this rectangle is, I rename it, let's go with image track matte. It's the same for video. And go to the gradient track matte. And where is my rounded rectangle image track matte? And here in this case, because I have here a blue color here, it's also nice to have a little bit of transparency here. If you want this, I think it's nice to have a look behind the border here or the frame here, but you also can go here with alpha. And what's also nice for a frame is a little inner shadow. Let's go to the gradient here, and let's go here with something like, let's go one, let's go with 0 point, oops, excuse me, inner shadow, come on, 0.2. Yes, I like it here for a frame or something like this here. You can also go, if you want here a light shadow, let's try this. I think I have to go here also with inner shadow. I hope this will work. Yes, it works. Let's go with 4. I think this is okay. Let's disable here the inner shadow. You see this, and this is the difference. And let's go to the alpha. Let's go to Luma. I like it with Luma. Let's go back to alpha. Okay, now you have a solid frame here. Okay, to do this now with the group method, let's bring this down and let's bring in another rectangle here. Let's now cover the image here. In this case, you only need one rectangle. Let's go with a border here as before, 40. I have now to go back and size it to the size of the image. Go down here with the okay, I could make it. Let's see. I've forgotten something. Let's now go with this rectangle and group it. And now go to the border and make the gradient here. You see what I mean? I have here now this problem here with the why I lose here some colors. I lose a lot of colors here. So let's delete this. Let's go back with a rectangle. And let's now make this 40. I can change. I have to go a little higher. Let's begin here with 80. Okay. Let's go down with the opacity of the fill. I can change the border with later. And go with group. Go with the gradient. This one. You see that I also lose here colors. Don't know why this is the case. So you see also here it's better to go with the first method. When I now go in here, let's come on, let's bring this here. I have now more colors, but I don't have the whole spectrum here. I don't know why this is a problem now, because I make this before and the problem was not there. Sorry for this. But delete. Let's go with a rectangle. When I go and size this up, let's try it. I have to know why this is a problem now. I make this in this kind for the whole canvas, and there I have no problems. So let's try again here. Let's go with 80. Let's now group this. Go first here down, go into the group and make here a gradient. You see now I have the whole spectrum here. So when you go with an image which covers the whole canvas, you will get no problems. Let's go here and size this now down. I think I'm good to go here. Yes, this is nice here. If I want now to change the border size, I can't do it here. I have to go in the group. Let's say I want this, let's go with 90. Let's go back here and go to the group. It's better to go in again and bring this here to canvas size. You see why now the reason why I prefer here the track method for this here. But I think I'm now good to go here. Okay, I can also make here a little look through. Let's go to the settings here, properties, and let's go here down. Let's say something like this here. Go with an inner shadow. Make this 0.5. Sometimes you have to do it twice. And go here also with an inner shadow. Go with something like 4. Okay, you have then the same or nearly the same as I think I was here with the shadow of the inner shadow. I think I was 0.2 here. I like this more. See, it's away. Make it twice. Okay. Now I think I have the same. Okay, so in this case, if you go with the group version here, go with the rectangle when you go here with the rectangle for a video or for an image, and go and size it to the scale of the canvas. Make your border then group it, make the gradient, and then size it to the size of the image, which will be in most part the same as the size of the canvas. So therefore I I had these problems with this, because I've tried it before with the whole canvas here, and there were no problems with this, and it was faster than this method, and I only need here one rectangle and not two. Okay, I think I'm through. I know it was a long tutorial with this 3 or 4 examples here. You have to decide which method is for you, in what cases. I hope this will help you. Thank you and goodbye.